All right, today we're going deep, way deep, to uncover the story of one of the planet's most mysterious and, honestly, underestimated creatures. Get ready for the secret life of sponges.
Okay, so let me just start with a question for you. What if I told you one of Earth's oldest creatures has no brain, no heart, no muscles, but it can live for thousands of years and might even hold the key to our future? Sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie, right? Well, it's not. We're talking about the humble sponge.
So yeah, it's a total paradox. Let's really get into it, starting right at the beginning. We're about to meet a creature that's been around for an incredible 600 million years, a true survivor.
Okay, so the fancy scientific name for sponges is porifera, and it's actually super straightforward. It just means the ones with pores. And that's pretty much what they are. Their whole body is just this brilliant system of pores and channels. You can almost think of them as one of the very first blueprints for animal life, you know? A really, really old branch on the family tree we all share.
And this timeline just blows my mind. Seriously, they show up 600 million years ago, and then they just survive. They sit there and survive 5 mass extinctions. I mean, look at this list. They made it through the Great Dying, which killed off something like 90% of all life in the ocean. They were there when that giant asteroid wiped out the dinosaurs. And then, after all that, in what is just a tiny blip on their radar, we show up. It's unbelievable. They're not just animals, they're living, breathing history.
So the big question is, how? How on earth did they pull this off? You'd think you'd need some serious gear to survive all that. But the secret? It's not what they have, it's what they don't have. Let's dive into their truly bizarre life without organs. I mean, just think about it. When you picture an animal, what comes to mind? A brain, right? Nerves, muscles, a stomach. The basics. Well, sponges have none of that. Zero. No brain, no nervous system, no muscles, not even a digestive system. It just completely flips our whole idea of what an animal is supposed to be. And the crazy part? They're thriving. Okay, so if they don't have a stomach, how do they eat? If they don't have lungs, how do they breathe? The answer is water. They just move an insane amount of water. Get ready for this number. A single decent-sized sponge can filter 50,000 liters of water in one day. That is just a mind-boggling amount for something that's literally just sitting there. 50,000 liters. What does that even look like? Well, picture a backyard swimming pool. A sponge can filter that entire thing every single day. And as all that water flows through them, they're just plucking out little bits of food, plankton, bacteria, all the good stuff. So they're not just eating, they're acting like the ocean's giant silent Brita filter. Okay, but it gets even weirder. This simple little design is hiding some absolutely incredible abilities. And I'm not kidding, we're talking about things that sound like actual superpowers.
This right here, this is where it goes from weird to straight up science fiction. You can take a sponge, you can tear it up into pieces, and every one of those pieces can grow into a whole new sponge. But wait, it gets crazier. Scientists have taken this to the extreme. They've literally blended a sponge, pushed it through a sieve until it was just a soup of individual cells. And what happened? Those cells, they found each other again, they reorganized and reformed a brand new working sponge from scratch. I mean, that's not just regeneration, that's practically immortality.
And their genius isn't just biological, it's architectural. Think about it. We use steel beams to build our strongest structures. Some of these sponges, they build their skeletons out of glass. Silica, to be exact. The Venus flower basket is a masterpiece. It's this beautiful, complex glass lattice that's somehow super strong and flexible. Engineers are literally studying these things, trying to figure out how to build better fiber optic cables and stronger materials. It's like nature just schooled us in engineering.
And the list just keeps going. Like, some of them glow in the dark, bioluminescence for the deep sea. Some species can live for more than 10,000 years. Yeah, 10,000. They're some of the oldest living things on the entire planet. And oh, just when you think they're all peaceful filter feeders, bam, there are carnivorous sponges that use tiny little hooks to trap their prey. Wild.
Okay, so you're probably thinking, this is cool, but what's it got to do with me? Well, our connection with sponges goes way, way back, and it's actually more important today than ever before. Way before we had plastic loofahs and synthetic anything, natural sea sponges were a huge deal. The Greeks and Romans used them for bathing, sure, but that's just the start. Roman soldiers padded their armor with them, artists used them, scribes used them to clean ink off of scrolls. They were basically the Swiss Army knife of the ancient world.
And that brings us to this idea. The cure for tomorrow's diseases might be hidden inside a creature without a brain. This is where things get really interesting for us now. See, because sponges can't run away from things that want to eat them, they had to get creative. They became master chemists, brewing up all sorts of powerful chemicals for self-defense.
And those chemical weapons, for us, they're a potential goldmine of medicine. Scientists are finding all kinds of amazing stuff in there. Anti-cancer compounds, antiviral, anti-inflammatory, you name it. And this isn't just a maybe one day thing. There's a powerful chemotherapy drug that doctors use right now for leukemia. It's called RSC, and it came directly from a sponge found in the Caribbean. It's a perfect example of nature being the ultimate pharmacy.
So they're ancient survivors, they're bioengineers, they're floating pharmacies. But maybe their most important job is the one we see the least. They play a massive role in the health of the entire planet. Let's talk about how they act as the ocean's silent guardians.
I really like this idea of them as the quiet housekeepers of the sea, because that's exactly what they are. Every single day, they're just cleaning. They're filtering, they're pulling out bacteria, they're recycling nutrients. They are absolutely essential for keeping the whole marine ecosystem in balance. And it's this huge, critical job being done by an animal that most of us barely even think about.
So let's play this out. What if they all just disappeared? The picture is not pretty. As you can see here, water clarity would just tank. Harmful bacteria would spike, and entire ecosystems, especially something as delicate as a coral reef, could completely collapse. Their simple, quiet job is actually a life support system for the ocean. It's that important.
So we end up right back where we started, with this amazing paradox. The humble sponge, no brain, no heart, no muscles. But it's also a 600-million-year-old survivor, a brilliant engineer, a pharmacy, and a guardian of the seas. It just goes to show you that the most important things aren't always the most obvious. And it really makes you wonder, right? What other silent architects are out there, quietly holding our world together right under our noses?